Officially, the hush has been broken. Furthermore, it wasn't oblique, ambiguous, or confusing this time. The tone of Aaron Pierre's remarks has caused the internet to pause everything as he finally discusses his relationship with Teyana Taylor. Speculation has been going on for weeks. Did they have a romantic relationship? Was it a serious matter? Was it over? To start with, was there anything at all? But Teyana approached it from a position of timing and growth. Calm, deliberate, and in control. Aaron's voice has now been added. When asked directly about Teyana during a recent press conference, he didn't sidestep the question. He did not dismiss it with jest. He didn't behave annoyed. He was deliberate in his word choice. Starting with, "She's an incredible woman," he said. He went on to say, "Very intentional, very grounded." That alone shifted the energy. He clarified that this wasn't dismissal, but rather respect. What the general public sees is frequently a piece of something more complex. He characterized their relationship as genuine, inquisitive, and founded on respect for one another. Investigative, Teyana's earlier implication is echoed by that word. He did not call it a partnership. He also did not deny intimacy. Then the most attention-grabbing line appeared. Not all deep connections should be hurried into long-term relationships. Teyana's perspective about not forcing flowers is almost exactly in line with that statement. Just maturity, without resentment, denial, or scandal. Aaron admitted that rumors spread by the public can skew something that is still developing. He was acknowledged that the atmosphere altered as the headlines started to circulate. He was obvious, though. There was no treachery, no blowback, and no dramatic conclusion. According to him, alignment can occasionally be seasonal. Oh, and it's all right. Seasonal. One more mirrored motif. His reaction is stunning because it is devoid of something. No ego, no blame, no defensiveness. Rather, he presented their relationship as growth-oriented, albeit temporary. He said something understated but impactful to end the discussion. "I have my piece, and I want hers." Heartbreak doesn't sound like that. It sounds like clarity. What does this mean? Then, it implies that something genuine existed, but it might not have been locked in or labeled. It implies that two grown-ups experimented with chemistry, understood timing, and decided against forcing a result. And that seems almost radical in a field that thrives on chaos and show. At this point, the internet is adjusting. Was this not a full romance, but a gentle chapter? Instead of divorce, turmoil, was there mutual understanding? Or are these just two individuals safeguarding something confidential as it changes? One thing is for sure, both stories are consistent. Just timing, no villain, no scandal, no public conflict. Perhaps it has always been the true narrative. It was a simple, almost casual moment, yet it changed everything. Aaron Pierre was advertising an impending project that provides answers to the common queries regarding discipline, professional momentum, and preparation. The tone was focused, professional, and devoid of drama or personal touches. The interviewer then inquired what everyone had been anticipating, leaning slightly closer. "What is the true situation between you and Teyana Taylor?" Then, there was a controlled silence. Nothing untoward. Aaron's smile was controlled and kind, neither defensive nor evasive. Additionally, rather than "yeah, I think what people saw was two individuals who respect each other," he responded, sidestepping the topic, as most actors would, and his statement alone set timelines in motion. Respect implies substance. It's not only about buddies or nothing else. He went on, using deliberate phrasing that seemed deliberate. "It felt natural for us to connect. It was not a calculated move. It was not staged. It was human. Human." Weeks of conjecture were reframed by that word. Because rumors tend to dehumanize celebrities, they use actual events as story points. Aaron tended toward subtlety. Rather, he admitted that they did spend time together. They did share a place. There was chemistry, indeed. "I won't act as though we didn't appreciate one another's," calmly said. Corporation. Liked using the past tense. That small change was not overlooked. The interviewer applied a little pressure. "I want to know whether there was ever a romance." Aaron did not recoil. He answered, "I don't rush labels. Furthermore, I don't give permanency to something that is still forming." Discovering its form, that wording is similar to what Teyana had stated about not pressuring blooms and failing to give names to what was not yet defined. It implies perspective alignment rather than romantic alignment. Public speculation accelerated the narrative beyond what reality was, Aaron added. "Occasionally, something may be significant but not overpowering. Meaningful but not monumental," he remarked. Because monumental denotes life-altering, the distinction landed deeply. Growth is necessary for meaning, and growth is not necessarily permanent. He was directly addressed the notion of a separation. There was no separation. What wasn't made to last can't be broken. Teyana's previous remark was nearly verbatim repeated in that sentence. It implies sharing, or at least communication. Comprehension. Aaron's voice was consistent throughout. No defensiveness, no bitterness, no obvious discomfort. Rather, he presented the circumstance as a matter of timing. He said, "I'm in a building season. She is, too. Additionally, two builders may require different designs at times." The metaphor quickly went viral on social media. Two separate plans. two builders. It suggests aspiration, personal concentration, and parallel routes. The interviewer inquired as to whether the dynamic was impacted by public pressure. Aaron didn't think twice. Indeed, he acknowledged that the atmosphere changed when the rumors got more serious. He claimed that something soft turned into something watched. Additionally, being watched alters your behavior. That statement seems crucial since it implies that while the rumors raised awareness, they did not lead to conflict. Being conscious can make people cautious. Being cautious might slow down momentum. Aaron made it apparent that there would be no dramatic consequences, betrayal, rage, or animosity. Rather, he explained it as to grown-ups identifying pacing. Pacing keeps coming up. That word conveys rhythm, timeliness, and preparedness. Throughout, he treated Teyana with dignity. She's deliberate, he replied. She is aware of her identity. That's strong. No minimization. No language that distances, only admiration. He hesitated once more when asked if he would think about re-establishing the link in the future. He said, "I don't close doors with ego. However, I also don't pry them open." That a well-balanced statement steers clear of finality without guaranteeing a reunion. It does not allow room for expectation. Aaron talked about the concept of narrative control as well. According to him, the internet prefers clean stories to start, middle, and end. That isn't how real life is organized. Fans sought clarification. Therefore, that may be the most candid assessment of the whole scenario. Together or apart. Dating or not dating. However, his description seems to be more exploratory, fluid, meaningful, and transient. When he talked about privacy, his tone changed the most. Protection and secrecy are not the same thing. Some things, he said. That line reframes the entire rumor cycle. Perhaps what existed wasn't concealed. It was just still forming, and formation doesn't often withstand spotlight. Aaron deserves time before clarification. Brought the segment to a close without being definitive. He added softly, "I wish her peace. I have mine. Peace." That word fits Teyana's vocabulary, about putting peace above show. This narrative is nearly unique in today's celebrity culture, since there is no villain, no dramatic betrayal, no messy unraveling, simply time. No one seems mistreated or heartbroken. Perhaps the most misinterpreted aspect of partnerships is timing. Neither Aaron nor Teyana have yet to call their relationship a formal one or a split. Instead, they have both employed terminology related to progress, pacing, and seasons, which implies that the relationship was genuine yet flexible. The public anticipated pyrotechnics, but they received maturity instead. This is where things get fascinating. An entertainment insider suggested that there was a particular moment, one that hasn't been made public yet, when they both realized they needed to refocus. And if that's the case, there might be more to this story than meets the eye. If you believed Aaron's first reaction was the whole story, you might reconsider because he lingered after the cameras stopped filming during that first interview. Additionally, at an off-camera roundtable with, and this is where things got complex, Pierre reportedly slumped back in his chair when a reporter casually stated that some fans felt misled by the chemistry they perceived between him and Teyana Taylor. Journeys, he added, one that wasn't meant to go viral. He appeared contemplative rather than annoyed. Misled implies manipulation, he remarked, and there was no manipulation. This distinction is significant because, in the current environment, when two celebrities are frequently spotted together, people tend to assume Aaron denied the claims of either emotional damage or PR strategy, explaining that their time together wasn't planned, for headlines, or a part of a rollout. He explained, "It was two people enjoying space. We didn't stage joy." That statement struck a chord since genuine joy doesn't require an explanation, and he admitted that dinners did occur. Yes, they spent consistent time together in shared events. But he made a crucial point: consistency does not equate to commitment. His statement broke weeks of presumptions because the internet frequently confuses frequent closeness with official standing. Aaron implied that there was something more subtle. It was exploratory, reciprocal, and vague. A reporter probed further, asking if he or she withdrew. Aaron didn't back down. "We both recalibrated," he explained. Recalibrated, not ended, not broke up, suggests adjustment, not rupture. He went on to explain that talks changed as the rumors grew more intense. "You have to check the temperature when something private gets projected," he explained. And we did. Checking the temperature implies emotional intelligence, meaning they discussed the significance of the attention and possibly whether they were prepared for it. That remark may be the key to the whole scenario, since what the public perceived as a growing friendship was actually Aaron's admission of something that had never been publicly recognized before. He talked about vulnerability, which is uncommon in celebrity interviews, and how even something beautiful needs stability when you're both going through transitions. It might have just been a budding understanding, and understanding takes time to develop. Transitional stages. Aaron's work is picking up speed, while Teyana is reinventing her identity, both personally and professionally after the divorce. Two individuals undergoing change don't always support one another. They orbit sometimes. Aaron clarified that there was no resentment and that nobody was left perplexed. He claimed that we communicated, which is the antithesis of drama. It removes misunderstanding. He said that Teyana was grounded and understood her requirements. He said that he was protective of pace. And that term keeps coming up because it implies that he, a reporter, questioned Aaron if he would characterize what they had as romantic, which was a really telling moment. Aaron likes deliberate, intentional progress, especially in partnerships. And if the public noise was speeding up perception, that may have broken his rhythm. Paused longer this time. He agreed that it had romantic energy, but he also pointed out that structure is not always the same as energy. For the first time, he used words that explicitly acknowledged attraction. He addressed the split headlines directly, saying, "I wouldn't use that word. Split implies fracture." However, he refrained from asserting that structure implies formality. If alignment can change without anyone doing anything wrong, then that statement reframes the idea that there was damage, which is what fracture suggests. Relationships completely. It implies that timing and trajectory are just as important as chemistry. Then, in the most human moment of the conversation, a reporter questioned whether quick celebrity timelines or hookup culture made it don't subscribe to speed for optics. Aaron replied, with a small smile, "Because if something is meant to root, it's more difficult to move slowly." Another metaphor for growth is rooting. "I don't predict seasons," he said thoughtfully when asked if he would contemplate reconnecting in the future. And he frequently talks about connection as if it were an organic thing that either takes hold or doesn't. That sentence, which echoes Teyana's earlier remark about not closing doors with wrath, leaves space without promise and neither commits nor shuts. "I experienced them." Aaron concluded the discussion by asking a subtle question. Were they more in sync than people realized? Or are they just emotionally mature enough to handle ambiguity gracefully? Their language matches almost too well. Roundtable with a sense of closure but serenity, clarity, thanks, and respect are all there, and that seems sufficient. What sets this apart from other celebrity splits is that there is no story of animosity or remorse. Only the closing of a chapter that may not have even been finished. Aaron's description sounds like something much more grounded, something planned, something that didn't collapse but just didn't crystallize. There was no wrongdoing, no mysterious unfollows, no abrupt shade postings, just two individuals admitting pacing. If the tale ended there, it would be one of the healthiest non-breakups Hollywood has witnessed in a long time. But insiders are implying that they decided to refocus because of a single public occasion and event. The moment that insiders have been hinting at hasn't been fully unpacked yet. It was subtle, without any public disagreement, shouting, or evident stress, but it changed everything. According to several people who were Pierre and Teyana Taylor were present at a private industry event last month. Although they arrived separately, they spent the most of the evening together, laughing and chatting comfortably until the cameras moved. One photographer allegedly exclaimed, "Y'all official now." The throng, an unnamed attendee, later characterized it as follows: "I laughed and it seemed harmless." But insiders say that was the first time the energy visibly shifted between them. It wasn't awkward or tense, just aware that what had been soft and private was now turning into expectation. That sentence keeps coming up because it explains so much. When the story gets louder than the experience, something has to give. It was as if they both realized at the same time that the narrative had outpaced reality. Discussed this incident in passing in a follow-up podcast appearance. Recalibration occurs when you're enjoying something and then you see it from a different perspective. And it seems different not because the connection was erroneous, but because he went on to explain how perception altered the experience. When you're still learning someone and the public starts asking where it's headed, it forces a question you may not have needed to answer yet. That's strong because pressure speeds timelines, and accelerated timelines don't always correspond with authenticity. Aaron explained that neither of them panicked and that there was only an honest chat, which he said implied mutual understanding, rather than a dramatic sit-down. That question reframes everything. Are we enjoying something or are we constructing something? Constructing implies long-term aim, while enjoying suggests immediate appreciation. He said the answer wasn't complicated. We were enjoying. He addressed the emotional undertone people keep trying to attach, acknowledging that enjoying doesn't mean shallow, but rather present. And present doesn't always translate into permanent. Heartbreak, he answered. There's appreciation. That phrase completely destroys the divided narrative because thankfulness, not regret, is the source of appreciation. We chose peace over pressure. Aaron observed that echoes Teyana's own language almost perfectly, and that alignment suggests something important. He acknowledged that they both respected each other enough not to force clarity for public comfort. Even though the page wasn't a chapter that would last a lifetime, they were on the same page. When a journalist asked Aaron if he felt any different now that the rumors had subsided, Aaron answered without hesitation, I feel lighter. In his explanation that he doesn't mind public curiosity, Lighter said, but curiosity doesn't get to control pacing. He stated the remark might sum up the entire scenario because pacing is the he snorts. Also admitted that part of maturity is knowing when something doesn't need to escalate. Pacing over pressure, timing over presumption. There's power in not pressing momentum. That doesn't sound like someone was harmed, he said. Instead, it sounds like someone with purpose. When questioned about whether he would work creatively in tandem with, he grinned, Teyana in the future. Just a little. Respect doesn't expire, he stated. That implies there isn't any awkward. That implies there isn't any awkward.